Good morning.
Morning.
How's everybody doing? Good. Well, like you said, my name is Tanner. I'm one of the pastors here at Moore, and we're really glad that you're here this morning. If you were here last week, we talked about the story in John chapter 9 where Jesus heals a man born blind. A man that was blind his entire life, Jesus healed him. And we focused on the idea, if we can get the slides back up, focused on the idea of Jesus being the light of the world, what that really means, what that meant in that story and what it means for us. And today what we're going to do is we're going to be in John chapter 11. If you have your Bibles, turn with me to John chapter 11. We are going to look at Jesus' last, most dramatic miracle before he heads to the cross. It's the raising of Lazarus from the dead. And the thing I want to focus on in this story today is the idea of Jesus going somewhere and laying down his life to save the one that he loves, in Lazarus. That's what this story is all about. And so we're going to go through it line by line. Just take it as it comes. Let's step into the story. It says, now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. And then John pops in and is like, hey, dear reader, this Mary, whose brother Lazarus is now sick, is the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair. And so, like, if you've read the Gospel of Luke, you're familiar with Mary and Martha. But John comes in and gives you some more information about her. The thing is, this story that he's referencing hasn't happened yet in his Gospel. And so you're like, wait, what's going on here, John? And the idea is, John has designed this Gospel to be read over and over and over again, so that the more and more you read it, the more things jump out. And here he's getting ahead of it and just like, hey, just so you know, when you read this story in a little while about Mary, you need to think of this story. Like, tie these two stories together in your mind. He's giving the reader a heads up here. So the sisters sent word to Jesus, Lord, the one you love is sick. So John is emphasizing this. The one Jesus loves is sick. Now notice, they don't ask Jesus to come heal him. Apparently this is all the message was. But it's kind of implied, right? Like, they know who Jesus is. They've seen what Jesus can do. But the reason they probably don't ask outright for Jesus to come heal is because this will be incredibly dangerous for Jesus. Like we found out last week, the religious leaders have already tried to stone him twice. They've tried to arrest him once, and he has left Jerusalem. So by them sending this message, if Jesus comes back, it will very much most likely be at the cost of his own life. To save Lazarus, Jesus will have to lay down his own life. And so that's the implication here. It says, when he heard this, Jesus said, this sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it. Now, this doesn't mean that Lazarus will not die, just that it ultimately will not end up in death. The thing is, Jesus knows how this story is going to end. Already, Jesus knows what's about to take place in this. It won't ultimately end in death. It'll end in resurrection from the dead for God's glory. And this thought is the same as last week with the man born blind. When everybody was like, what caused this? He says, man, this is an opportunity for God's glory to be revealed, for God's character to be revealed, for his person to be revealed to you guys. And then we read something that's kind of hard for us to understand. It says, now Jesus loved Martha and her sister Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. So Jesus waits 2 days. He gets this message, hey, this person that you love is sick, he's dying. And Jesus doesn't go. He waits. And this is a weird thing for us. We think love means rushing to someone's aid. We think love means Jesus would have immediately acted on this, but he doesn't. It says, because he loved them, he waited. So his love for them motivated him to not go when they wanted him to go. And this is tough for us to think about. Like, why? Why would he do that? Well, because he knows how this story ends. First off, because he's not just going to heal Lazarus, he's going to reveal his glory. That's what he said earlier, that God's glory will be revealed in this. He's going to give them more than they asked for, more than they wanted. But because of that, he waits. And sometimes in our lives, this story's tough because when we have these moments and we go to God and we pour it out and we say, God, I believe in you. I believe that you can heal. I believe that you can bring life into this situation. I need your help. And it feels like we don't get an answer, right? That's what they feel like in this moment. He doesn't come. And that's what we think. We wonder in these moments, man, where is God? Why? If I believe that he can do this thing, why doesn't he show up? But because he delays doesn't mean that he doesn't love us. In this story, his delay is his love. By not going when they wanted him to go is how he's going to show his love for them. And he says, okay, let's go back. It's time to go back. We've waited long enough. But Rabbi, they said, these are his disciples, a short while ago, the Jews there tried to stone you. Yet you're going to go back? Like, are you crazy? Do you not remember what just happened when we healed the man that was born blind, when you did all that stuff? Like, I get Lazarus is sick, but come on, Jesus, you just said it's not going to end in death. And Jesus answered, typical Jesus fashion, something weird. He says, are there not 12 hours of daylight? Anyone who walks in the daytime will not stumble, for they see by this world's light. It is when a person walks at night that they stumble, for they have no light. And I'm sure his disciples are like, that doesn't answer my question. And they're like, why are we doing this? But so there's a lot of things going on here. One, in both Jewish and Gentile world, this is a time before watches. They don't have clocks, they don't have iPhones. So they split the hours up into daylight and nighttime. 12 hours of daylight and then nighttime. You work during the day. That's when you do your work. When night falls, you stop working. And so on one aspect, Jesus is talking about his earthly ministry. Like, there's still daylight left. While there is daylight, I'm going to do the work of my Father. Because a time is coming when night is going to fall on my ministry. And I won't be able to do the works I'm doing now. So it would be wrong for me not to go to Lazarus. Because while I am here, I'm going to do the works. But on another aspect, what did we talk about last week? He's the light of the world, right? And so in other words, as long as I'm the light of the world, you're safe with me. I know you're worried about being martyred, but if you're with me, it's going to be okay. My hour has not yet come. The night's approaching, but until then, you guys walk in the light. And after he said this, he went on to tell them, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to wake him up. And his disciples replied, Lord, if he sleeps, he's going to get better. And John's like, dear reader, Jesus has been speaking of his death, but his disciples thought that he meant natural sleep. And so Jesus tells them plainly, dude, Lazarus dead. And for your sake, I'm glad I was not there so that you may believe. Right? Isn't this weird? I'm glad I wasn't there to prevent Lazarus from dying for your sake. Why? So that they will believe. Jesus sees this whole picture like he supernaturally knows Lazarus has just died. Like nobody came, it doesn't say anybody came and told him. He just thought, Lazarus has died, it's time to go. Now's the time to go. It's like he sees the whole story. He knows what he's about to do. And he says, let us go to him. He's inviting them, come. You're about to see the glory of God. God is going to reveal his character in what I'm about to do. And the reason he's glad about this is because he is about to reveal his character, reveal the Father in a way that he could not do by healing Lazarus. They have seen Jesus heal all kinds of people. They've already seen all that. What he is about to do is a way to reveal his character in a way that nobody even has a concept for. Nobody has a framework for what Jesus is about to do. He has to show up at the tomb. He can't just show up at the hospital and heal Lazarus. He's got to come to the grave to show them what's about to happen. Then Thomas, known on the streets as Didymus, aka Thomas the Doubter, said to the rest of the disciples, okay, let us also go that we may die with him. Like they know this is incredibly dangerous to go back to Bethany, to go right near Jerusalem. And it's like half courage, half resignation. It's like, man, we're going to die, but I'm going to go die with Jesus. I'm going to go with him. Let's go. He thinks it's a suicide mission. And we know like when crunch time comes for Thomas, he's going to abandon Jesus. But here in this moment, it's faith. It's like, man, I'm going to follow Jesus, even in the face of this. And on his arrival to Bethany, Jesus found that Lazarus had been in the tomb for 4 days. That's important. There's a rabbinic tradition at this time that when a person died, their spirit would hover above their body and like with hopes of being resuscitated. But as soon as the spirit saw that the body would started to decompose, as soon as the color left the body's face, the spirit would depart. That was on day 4. So if Lazarus has been dead in Jewish culture, there is no bringing him back. No miracle worker can do this. Nothing can be done. He is dead. It's over. So Jesus shows up to that, and it says, now Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, which, danger point, less than 2 miles from where everybody wants to kill him. And many Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them in the loss of their brother. So mourning was a huge thing in Jewish culture. People would come from all over. They would weep, they would wail, they would hire musicians to play for 7 days. It was a big deal. The point that John's making here is tons of people are going to come from Jerusalem. Tons of people did come. Jesus cannot go unnoticed in this situation. If he goes there, people will know he's there. They will run and tell the Pharisees. So he goes anyways. It says, when Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed home, which tracks with the Luke story about them. You remember one of them being really busy, one of them sitting at the Lord's feet. Mary's the oldest. She's handling the visitors. All these people are coming. She's doing what she's supposed to do. The Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. She just runs up to Jesus, and the first thing she says, Lord, man, where were you? If you had been here, he would have lived. And think about it, like this isn't a rebuke. She has faith in Jesus. She has faith that he could have healed her brother. Man, if you had only been here, but it's disappointment with him. Like, man, we sent word for you. Why didn't you come? Where were you? And that sentiment there, if you had been here, my brother would not have died, is going to get repeated 3 times in this story by all different people. She's disappointed, but she still believes in Jesus. She says, but I know that even now, God will give you whatever you ask. And she's not thinking in her head here, Jesus is going to raise my brother. She's just saying, man, I believe in you. I still believe that you have this relationship with the Father. I believe that you can do all this. And Jesus says to her, your brother will rise again. And Martha answered, yeah, I know. I know he'll rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Like she thinks he's just trite, the thing you say to everybody when they lose somebody. Like, oh, don't worry, you'll see them again. Don't worry. She thinks he's just giving her like the standard thing. Like, don't worry, God will raise him at the last day. I know at the last day, death won't get the last word over Lazarus. Thanks for coming, Jesus. Appreciate it. And Jesus says to her, no, listen, I am the resurrection and the life. Amen. The one who believes in me will live even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? Like, this is just gnarly. He says, I am that resurrection. It's not an event, it's a person. You're talking to it. You're talking to him. I am the resurrection. I am the life. I am life itself. That is who I am. Do you believe it? Like, what a crazy thing to ask. Like, I do more than give life. I am life. Death has no dominion over me. I am above and beyond death itself. Do you believe it? It's just wild. Like, there's no resurrection apart from me. There is no life apart from me. Do you believe this, Mary? Or Martha. Like, he's not asking if she believes he's about to resurrect her brother. She has no framework for any of that. He's saying, do you believe in me? Do you believe that I am who I say I am? Do you believe it? And even though she doesn't understand it, like Catherine said, I want to worship in spirit and truth. I don't even know what that means, but I believe it. That's what she does. She says, yes. Yes, man, I don't know what you mean exactly, but yes, I trust you. I believe you. I believe that you are the Messiah. I believe that you're the Son of God who has come into the world. She confesses it. She trusts him, even though she doesn't understand what he's really talking about. And last week when we looked at the story of Jesus healing the man that was born blind, he said, I am the light of the world. Do you believe this? And then he demonstrated what that meant to be the light of the world. And here, do you believe that I'm the resurrection and the life? Yes. Let me demonstrate what that means. He's going to demonstrate it right here by resurrecting someone from the dead. And after she had said she believed, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. The teacher is here and is asking for you. When Mary heard this, she got up quickly and went to meet him. Like, she tries to get a little private moment for Mary with Jesus. Now, Jesus had not yet entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews who had been with Mary in the house comforting her noticed how quickly she got up and went out, they followed her, supposing she was going to go to the tomb and mourn there. Like, they're trying to be good friends. They're trying to come support her and mourn, but she's trying to get this private moment with Jesus, and it just doesn't work out. All the people come with her. And when Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she falls at his feet and said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And it's the same thing. God, I believe in you. It's an act of worship. She falls at his feet. She calls him Lord, but says, man, I'm disappointed. Like, why weren't you here? Like, I believed you could have healed him. It's an act of worship and despair. And that's the thing about this story. They're not mutually exclusive. And I think we think they are all the time. When some tragedy comes upon us, we can have this tendency to be like, well, if I was a good Christian, I wouldn't grieve. If I was a good Christian, I wouldn't be disappointed. If I was a good, but here, she falls at his feet, and Lord, I trust you. But why? What is this? What are we doing? It's faith and disappointment at one time. It's exactly what we do when we get in those space. God, where were you? Why do you allow this? Why me? I thought we were friends, Jesus. Like, I called for you. And when Jesus saw her weeping, he doesn't even answer. He just, when he saw her weeping, and the Jews had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. Note that deeply moved there. This is a really weird word. He's furious. In the Greek, this is only used a few times. They use it for horses storming into battle, like the way their nostrils flare and their grunts, like they're charging into battle. It's like he has fury over this. They say, come and see, Lord. He said, where did you lay him? Where did you lay him? They said, come and see. And he starts weeping. Like, God, where were you? And Jesus starts weeping, and he's furious at this. Like, what is going on here? Like, think about this. He knows how the story ends, right? He's known he was going to resurrect Lazarus the whole time. So why is he weeping? Why is he crying with these people? Why is he angry? Like, what is going on? He knows in 5 minutes he's going to raise Lazarus from the dead. And all these people that are mourning are going to be shouting with triumph. They're going to be rejoicing. He knows it, but still he's weeping. Still, he's angry. Like, he could have come in and be like, seen him weep and be like, oh, you have little faith. Do you not know who I am? Like, get it together, guys. I'm the resurrection life. But he doesn't do that. He weeps with them. Like, why? Why doesn't he do it? Because he's perfect love. He's not just power. He's not just truth. He is perfect love. Power and truth without weeping and tears isn't Jesus. Because he comes into the scene, and instead of holding himself aloof from human suffering, instead of holding himself back and judging, he enters into it fully with us. And in a way that we can't even imagine, because Jesus knows what this world is supposed to look like. He created it. He knows how he created it, and he sees how broken it is right here. In this moment, he is experiencing that. And that's where that anger comes in. It's anger at sin. It's anger at death. It's anger at the brokenness of the world, that people are weeping over this. He is mad about it. He is mad, and he's weeping with people. He's weeping with those who weep. And he's like, the word there is like quaked with rage when it says he's deeply troubled. He's infuriated about the wrongness of the world, about that death and sin reign over people, in which he was about to overcome. That's the last enemy, death. And he's standing there facing off with the last enemy that he's going to face in his earthly ministry. He's going to face it through his cross and his resurrection, but here in this moment, this is a foreshadowing of what Jesus is about to do. And he's weeping, and the Jews, the people that are around, see him and say, see, look how much he loved Lazarus. But some of them said, could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying? Like, they just saw him heal a man born blind. They're like puzzled and confused. Like, doesn't he have power? Why didn't he come heal this man? And it's that their faith rested on signs and wonders, not on the person of Jesus, not on the character of Jesus. They just need to see signs and wonders. And Jesus is like, no, I'm revealing who I am to you. And Jesus, once more, deeply moved, that word for fury, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. Take away the stone. Like, just picture the scene. Like, this had to be the most shocking thing anybody had ever heard. Like, they're weeping, they're wailing. Jesus is weeping and wailing. He's angry, and then he just stands up and says, take that stone away. Move it. But, why, Jesus? Like, what do you mean, take this stone away? What are you talking about? And Martha starts arguing with him. Lord, listen. By this time, there is a bad odor, for he's been dead 4 days. And Jesus looks at her and says, did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? She's still not expecting a miracle. Like, man, he stinks. You've never seen a dead body, Jesus? And he's like, you're about to see the glory. And they took away the stone. Like, even in the face of death, they still trust him. They're like, okay, I guess, let's take the stone away. And Jesus looked up and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me. He's just facing death itself and all of this unbelief. Nobody knows what he's about to do, and he just prays. And the prayer is so interesting. Like, this prayer assumes that he's already asked for Lazarus to be resurrected, and God already said yes. He's known it the whole time. And that all he has to do is thank God for what God has already said was going to happen. And he's saying it so that people will understand what prayer looks like. So they'll be drawn into the intimacy that he has with the Father. Like, guys, this is how to pray. And it also demonstrates that he does nothing without his Father's will, that this whole time it's been predetermined Lazarus is going to be resurrected, but he waits on his Father. He waits on when he's supposed to go. He waits on that. His whole motivation is just when the Father says, then I go, not before. As much as I love Lazarus, as much as I love Mary and Martha, I'm not going to move until the Father says to move. And that's all in this prayer. Like, I knew that. And when he had said this, Jesus called out in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. The thing that all the commentary said, and I thought it sounded cool, and so I'm going to say it, but they said, Jesus, he had to specify Lazarus' name here because his authority is so great, who he is, that if he just said, come out, then all the dead people would have been resurrected. So he had to specify, just you, just right now, you're the one. But he just speaks. Most of Jesus' other miracles, he did something. Like, last week, the blind man, he makes mud, puts it on his eyes, tells the man to go. Here he just speaks and brings life out of death, brings new creation. He brings joy out of mourning, gladness out of sadness, just by a word from Jesus. And the dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. Like, just imagine this scene. Like how dead silent it had to be when Jesus yelled, Lazarus, come out. Like, what? Like, what is happening? Is he serious? And then Lazarus comes out. And everybody's so shocked that Jesus has to tell him, hey, go take the wraps off him. Guys, like, what are you doing? Help him. Take the grave clothes off of him. Let him go. So there it is. Like, you think, man, okay. Jesus has just conquered death over someone who's been dead 4 days. There's no hope. It's somebody that everybody knows. They're all there to mourn this guy because they know him. They were in relationship with Lazarus. Everybody's got to believe in Jesus now, right? No. Like, he's the light of the world. People reject it. It says, therefore, many of the Jews who had come to visit Mary and seen what Jesus did, they believed in him. But some of them went to tattle to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done. Then the chief priests and the Pharisees called a meeting of the Sanhedrin. They called the big dogs. All the big dogs come. We're going to make a decision. We have to come to a decision on what to do about Jesus. We have a choice to make. What are we accomplishing? They asked. Like, we're not stopping this guy. Here is this man performing many signs. If we let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him. And then the Romans will come and take away both our temple and our nation. It's like they cannot dispute. It is impossible to dispute that Jesus is doing what he's doing at this point. They cannot say he's a fraud. They cannot say he's faking this stuff. They can't deny any of this. But what are they worried about? They're worried about themselves. Like this knowledge that Jesus is really doing this, there's no getting around it. We cannot deny it. That knowledge does not prompt them to reassess their view about Jesus. They don't even think about changing their stance on Jesus. They're just like, what can we do about it? Because if we don't stop him, people are going to believe in him. Rome's going to get wind of it, and they're going to come take away our power, our position. They're going to take away everything. They might even take away our nation. They might destroy our nation if we let Jesus keep doing this stuff. They're worried they're going to lose their prestige and their power. They're just self-seeking in this. Then one of them, named Caiaphas, who was the high priest, spoke up. You guys know nothing at all. You do not realize that it's better for you that one man die for the people than that the whole nation perish. He's talking about killing Jesus. It's like, you guys don't know anything. It's better if we just kill him. We've got to kill Jesus. That's how we save the nation. That's how we save our power and our prestige and our position as religious leaders. We got to kill him. We got to sacrifice him as a scapegoat to save Israel. And then John pops up and he's like, dear reader, listen. He did not say this on his own, but as high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus would die for the Jewish nation, and not only for that nation, but also for all the scattered children of God, meaning everybody, to bring them together and make them one people, one deal. So from that day on, they plotted to take his life. They make a decision. We're going to kill Jesus. The next time we find Jesus, we're killing him. It's like John says, man, when Caiaphas was speaking, he's speaking his opinion and he was totally wrong. But while he was speaking, God was also speaking. Even though they were totally different things that they were saying. Jesus would die for the nation. Like Caiaphas said, as a sacrifice. Dying for something, substitutionary, like dying in place of the nation. Either Jesus dies or the nation dies. Caiaphas is thinking politically. John sees it as the lamb who was slain to take away the sins of the world. It's wild. Like God is able, even with the plans of evil people, to achieve his purposes that he set forward. They make an official decision. We're going to kill Jesus. And just think about the contrast here. You have the religious leaders determined to kill an innocent man to maintain their power and prestige. And on the other hand, you have Jesus, who is willing to lay down his life in this story, just even in this story, to save his friend, to save the one that he loves, to lay down his power and authority, to step into it and save someone else at great cost to himself. Sacrifice himself to give his enemies power and authority. It's the opposite here. And that's what this story is all about. Like Jesus knows that by going to Lazarus, he is signing his death warrant. He knows it and he goes anyways. He knows it's going to cost him everything. But in the bigger picture, that's what he did for all people that he loves. For you, for me. That's the story of the Bible. That despite the brokenness of the world, despite our rebellion, despite the mess of pain and suffering, this web of human, the way we hurt each other and ourselves, the way we hurt God's good creation, all of that mess, he looked at it and doesn't abandon us in it. He steps into the story. He doesn't hold himself back from human suffering. He steps into it, and he laid down his position, and he was born into poverty in a stable in a no-name town to no-name parents, and he lived his life as a homeless man with no money to his name. He sacrificed all, laid aside all of his divinity and stepped into our story and lived the life that we were always supposed to live, but failed to live. This life of self-giving, self-sacrificial love out of devotion to the Father. He lived it for us, and he suffered with us, and he suffered for us by going to the cross. And he suffered in a way that we can't imagine because he knew what the world was supposed to be like. And he allows the powers to be in this world to kill him, to torture him, to whip him, to spit on him, to mock him, to beat him with rods, to put a robe over him, to nail him to a Roman execution, right? He allows it to happen. Why? For us. Because through his resurrection, he made a way where there is no way. That the life he lived counts for us now. That the death he died counts for my death. And that his resurrection life, like he gave Lazarus, but in a whole new way, is for us. Not just being raised from the dead with a mortal body, but all new creation. Remember when Jesus, this story mimics Jesus being on the cross. But how did Jesus get resurrected, right? Nobody had to pull cloth off of Jesus. He folded them himself in the tomb. He was a whole new creation. He still bore the marks in his hand. Remember Thomas, street named Didymus? Hey, I need to put my fingers in the hole. He was a whole new creation. He bore the scars, but he was completely made new. He's just walking through walls, showing up wherever he wants, eating fish with him and then vanishing. And they're like, what is this? Like whole new creation that Jesus made through his resurrection as the first fruit for you. That what is true about Jesus is now true about you. That when you cling to him in faith, that resurrection life that he said he was is yours. He is for you. It's wild. So what does this mean for you? I don't know. You know, I like just talking through the Bible. But as Catherine comes up, I do we're going to enter into just a short moment of reflection on this. And I want to speak to some of those who you might be going through this kind of a moment right now in your life where you are going through suffering, you are going through tragedy. And like Mary and Martha, you're like, man, God, I believe in you. I believe that you can heal. I believe that you can do this, but where are you? Why am I not seeing it? You might be grieving and just saying, man, where are you in this, God? And in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, Paul says something really interesting. He says, grieve, but don't grieve like people without hope. Don't grieve like people without hope. That's what this story is. In the face of death and tragedy and suffering, we have a choice on how we approach it. You can try to grit your teeth. You can try to pretend like it's not there. You can pretend like you don't see it. You can harden your heart and just try to get past it. That won't work. It'll just harden your heart and it'll make you less human. That's not how we're meant to do it. Because it'll just make you calloused, and then that pain is going to erupt later sometime in your life. The other way is to grieve without hope. And Paul says, no, man, grieve, feel it, experience it. Experience that grief, but don't do it without hope, because Jesus is hope. He is hope. Infuse that grief with the hope in Jesus, because of him and his sacrifice. What is true of him is true of us. That resurrection will happen. At the end of the day, death does not get the last word. It has no power over Jesus. He is life itself. Alcoholism doesn't get the last word. Abuse doesn't get the last word. Depression doesn't get the last word. And when you believe that, you can infuse your grief with the hope of Jesus, that he loves you, that he knows you, and that everything he is for you. So as Kat plays, and just take a moment to reflect on what we talked about today. And if that's you, if you're grieving, then take that frustration and your faith. Take your disappointment and your trust in God together to Jesus right now. Say, man, God, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm feeling. Take it to Jesus. And after a few moments, I'll come up and we'll close with a time of ministry. But for right now, just set your hearts on the Lord and allow the Spirit to speak to you.